The Morgan Thomas Show on 105.5 and 97.5 The Roar every Thursday night, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. after my best friend, Walt Deptula, and Road Rage. You'll also catch me in the morning on Thursdays. I'm here literally all day. I need a cot, Al. I need a cot, a bed, a pillow, whatever.
No doubt.
Engineered sleep mattress. I need everything. I need it. And so what I've been, every Thursday morning, I do Mickey Plyler's show, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., and then Thursday night, 7 to 8. So really appreciate everybody listening in to the radio and being a part of the show. I know college football starting tonight, so competing with that, and I understand. But if you're driving, listening, or can't have it make your way after work, I appreciate you listening in. We've been talking all things Clemson football. Literally, we're running the drill, running the gauntlet of all things Clemson football. We've talked freshman impact players this season, this next game coming up against Georgia Tech, running backs and how they will split reps. Cade Klubnik is our next question on the docket, and that is, how many snaps, how much will Cade Klubnik play? We talked about Will Shipley being 50%. I'll go ahead and say this. I don't think Cade Klubnik is going to be 50% of the snaps against Georgia Tech, unless it's just a giant blowout, a huge blowout at the beginning of the game. I don't see that, Big Al.
Yeah, no, I don't see that either. I see him coming in somewhere, hopefully early. I want to say early in the second half. I really do want to say that. Not when it's necessarily, completely out of hand, but I really would like to see him get in there with some of the first stringers to see what he can do, see if he can gel with those guys as well. I know we're trying to do the same thing with DJ, so they may not do that in this game. They may wait for a Mineral Law Tech for something like that, but I would like to see him a little more than what it seemed like he might be in with the press conference.
Yeah, I like I said, we've talked about this. I'm just ready to see them out there, see what they can do. I think Dabo Swinney is ready to see them too, see what Cade Klubnik can do, because he's earned it, as Brandon Streeter mentioned recently this week. He's earned his opportunity to play on the field. But one thing that Dabo continues to say is, can he take the hits? We have to see it in live game scenario, because he's had that purple jersey on. And so only time will tell. I think it'll be a light. I think it'll be light work for Cade. I really do. I think he's going to split some time with Hunter Johnson, maybe some of the other guys behind them. I really don't see 50-50 for sure. And I definitely don't see like 2 series here, 1 series there. I don't see 70-30 either. I think the best case scenario, again, going back to our first discussion in the beginning segment, is best case scenario is DJ comes out lighting it above 60% pass completions, which is not all on him, but that is my prediction there. All right, so we're heading in. This is the final segment, heading into the end of the show. I want to get talking about the game that's coming up on Monday night, Clemson versus Georgia Tech. What's one thing that you want to see from Clemson in this game, and what does Clemson have to do to start the year off right? Now, for me, if you want to start the year off right, show me your strength is your strength that we have been talking about all offseason, the 3-headed monster. If it really is your strength, I want to see it. Show me Shipley, Pace, Maffa. Show me Thomas. Show me Adams Jr. I want to see. Throw DJ in there. I want to see a team that can rush the ball at will and beat you running the ball and becoming one of the best running teams in the nation. That's what I want to see. Make your strength, which I believe is the rushing attack.
Well, I think off the cuff, you're right there. And I got to tell you, what's funny is I actually see this a little bit differently, because yeah, it would be great to get out there and rush, all over these guys, get, however many yards, 400 yards against them. That would be fantastic. I want to see them come out, have a different game plan defensively like they did last for Clemson, stack the box, force DJ to beat them. I want DJ to show us that he can beat them. I want the receivers to get out there and make some plays. I want the other teams to know that DJ can do this, get him some confidence going forward for the year, and that if they're going to stack the box, we're going to be able to beat you in the air. And DJ's going to need that confidence. He's going to need that boost. And I think that's what I'm looking for most of all. I really want him to be able to do that.
Again, when you look at the game last season, the crowd, and you listen to the announcers, which Dan Orlowski ripped into Clemson. during that entire game. I think that hurt the fan base's perception of the offensive play calling, the coaching staff, and DJ specifically, because Dan Orlovsky ripped into Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really the first game where it was like, oh, wait a minute. This isn't the Georgia Bulldogs. This is Georgia Tech, and they're struggling. First downs, Georgia Tech won 20-19. Rushing yard or total yards, 298. Georgia won. Longest reception, 35 yards, Georgia Tech. Time of possession, 30 minutes, 10 seconds, Georgia Tech. So if you see all those stats, then Georgia Tech should have won that game. I mean, they had a chance to win or tie at the end zone, and James Skalski stopped them at the end. So I don't want to see that. That's for sure. Clemson struggled to pass, as you mentioned, getting players open, getting first downs, even though if you looked at their third down conversions was good.
Mm-hmm.
But they could really only run the ball. Wide receivers weren't getting open. Will Shipley was carrying the offense on his back. Georgia Bulldogs fans, you know what they started saying after that game? I'm going to remind you, Clemson fans. I'm going to remind you of this. Georgia Bulldog fans said, guess what? I think we broke Clemson. Oh, no, we must have broke Clemson. That cannot be the case in 2022. No excuses, no chance, no way. Again, Texter gets in, a total annihilation.
I'm all for that, to be honest with you. That's what I'm looking for. Total annihilation is what every Clemson fan is looking for, because if you do totally annihilate them, it's because you put up a lot of points. That's what the Clemson fans want to see. Offense has to get moving.
Now, you said that you wanted to see more success from DJ and the wide receivers.
That's correct.
Now, was that answering success for the season, or was that starting the year off, or was that one game, or is that like all encompassing there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think you want to make that happen the whole year. It's just going to be interesting because Georgia Tech is probably going to sell out to stop the run, wouldn't you say? I mean, that's what the teams did last year. They're like, hey, DJ's not having a good year through the air, or the receivers aren't having a good time catching the ball. Offensive line can't, block long enough for them to pass. Let's stack the box. That's what we're going to do. So I think that Clemson really needs to come out and show that they can pass the ball when they do that. I'm not saying, when they can pass the ball against a regular defense, but when they stack the box, they definitely have to make them pay. It's those kind of times when it's easier for the wide receivers to get open. It's easier for them to find space, and that's when he's going to have to make them pay.
Now, that kind of goes against, like, show me your strength is your strength with the running back. So you just squashed my whole argument there, my whole thought process on how to be successful going into the beginning of this. Thank you, Al,
for
squashing that for me.
That's what I'm here for.
But I will say this. I think that DJ, again, he needs to show that he can move the ball with confidence. I'm looking at passing percentage, completion percentage. Mm-hmm. He wasn't even for teamrankings.com, not even in the top 100. There's no excuse for that.
Totally agree.
There's no excuse. You are too good. The team is too good around him. They're healthier. They're better. They have another year. They've gone through the wear down season and survived and won 10 games.
Yeah.
So now it's time to put that behind you, build upon what you learned, correct things, and move forward. I do feel like the option routes, as Kyle Richardson has said, is going to help the offense. We talked about this. At first, I thought maybe that would be too complicated because DJ, it seemed like last year it was all about dumb it down, be simple,
right.
Do the routes that you were designed, and that actually backfired.
Yeah. So
I like the option route idea. And maybe DJ doesn't know what the wide receiver is going to do, but hey, at least the wide receiver gets open.
I think that's the big thing. And we talked about that on the show not long ago about how it could be kind of a catch-22 with the option routes. But I think DJ, if you look at that Notre Dame game in 2020, which we all like to point to, where he did so well, it's because those guys got open. Amari Rodgers and Cornell Powell were getting open. So I think he's going to be able to find an open receiver. It's more, when they had to fit into a tight window where he struggled most. But I think he can make that happen.
I'm going to go ahead and give you my Clemson prediction of the game. The score not going to be as bad as it was last year. It's going to be big time. Clemson favor 41-10 Tigers. What do you got, Al?
41-10. I am very close, as a matter of fact. I'm going to give Georgia Tech and their quarterback, who's a playmaker, a little bit more credit, although I don't want to. I'm going to say 41-13.
So if you take 22 minus 22, I think you take the points then, or you take Clemson to cover the points.
Yes.
Excuse me, I'm a novice here.
Is it at 22 now?
22 is what I had.
Okay.
At least from Qualk's pick'em contest that we're going to do.
Okay, fair enough.
So I have population picking 85% picking Clemson, spread minus 22. According to this, that game is one of my locks of the week. So that's a lock of the week. Now, Al, you had your pick against the spread game of the weekend. What is that?
Look, I took Ohio State Notre Dame because I think it's the marquee matchup this weekend, and it's funny that it's the marquee matchup. It might even be almost top 5 teams, top 10 teams definitely, and Ohio State is a 17.5 point favorite, which is kind of unprecedented for a top 10 matchup. So I thought we'd go over that one and see if you agree. With Vegas minus 17.5, do you think that Ohio State's going to come out and bludgeon Notre Dame, or you think Notre Dame's got a chance in this thing?
Well, I am not a genius. I'm not a Vegas killer like you are.
Oh, yeah.
If you're listening, watch our show, YouTube,
Yep.
The Morgan Thomas Show. I'll talk to you about our Alan's Vegas successes and winnings and pockets getting full over there. Big man over here. High roller. Al, I think a Notre Dame game, the Notre Dame-Ohio State game is my second lock of the week. 68% of the population is going Notre Dame, plus 17. Give me the points. That's disrespectful. The computer even says pick Notre Dame. Multiple computers telling me pick Notre Dame. If the population's saying it, computer's saying it, I'm saying it. Go with it. You've got Clemson. You got Notre Dame. The coach, Freeman, is already saying that was disrespectful. They're going to show up. The only question is really, what do they leave on the field after they beat them? I think they leave a Rudy DVD. That was my opinion. The Oregon left a duck.
Sure.
Oklahoma left a flag. I think Notre Dame leaves a Rudy DVD.
Well, I got to tell you, I never want to give any respect to Notre Dame because the media does that for us. They prop them way up when they probably shouldn't be. I think that's also the case this season. I don't think they should be ranked as highly as they are. However, 17 points, 17 and a half, depending on where you're looking, is a lot of points, especially in an opening game. A lot of times the offenses are still trying to kind of get their mojo about them, and I'm going Notre Dame here plus the 17. I just think that's the kind of the safe play here. It's going to be fun to watch, though. I hope it's a much closer game than that, to be honest, to give the fans kind of what they're looking for.
Now, this morning I did Mickey P's Elite QB, where we picked who we thought was going to have the highest passing yards this weekend. Mickey picked Devin Leary. I picked Aiden O'Connell. But at the night show, we do Workhorse of the Week. And I'm going to go with Will Shipley. I do feel like that he has a big game against Georgia Tech. Another guy on my radar, Trayshawn Ward versus LSU. He had 127 yards against Disquizine or Duquesne, whichever you want to say. But I do think Will Shipley is going to have a big night.
Look, I think that could very well be. What I'm concerned about here is, if you remember last season in the Workhorse of the Week, I'm pretty sure that I could have beaten you guys easily in that contest had every one of my running backs not been injured. And most of the time they were injured, like first play of the game injured. That happened at least 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks. It was unbelievable. I remember turning on games and following them and seeing that my running backs were hurt. So I'm actually going this week, Michigan running back Blake Corum, Hassan Haskins into the NFL. He's going to kind of be the guy this year. So I'm going with Blake Corum. I think he's going to get some yards. They're playing, a team that's not all that good. I think he's going to run roughshod over them.
If you're a daily fantasy guy, which I'm trying to get into.
Yep.
That's kind of where we're going with this. Picking the player that you think is going to get the most fantasy points at that position. We got running back. We have quarterback this morning on Mickey's show. I do feel like the biggest thing is knowing when they are going to get play and who they're going to play against.
Sure.
And then, hoping you get past that early game injury that is sometimes
devastating.
Really devastating to your season. So, you got to be careful with that. Hey, we're getting close to the end of the show. Wow, 1 hour goes by so quick. We really appreciate everyone. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Ramona for being our producer back there, working hard, pressing the buttons. Thank you so much for being a part of the show and helping us on the boards. Big Al, thank you for coming in.
Yeah, man.
I want to thank the listeners of 105.5, 97.5 The Roar. Again, thank you, Rory, for getting in. I really appreciate it. You know, this is local content from guys that live here. Not only that, but we're graduated from Clemson, and we're big-time Clemson fans. So we want to talk about all things Clemson Tigers. So we appreciate you getting in. We've got a lot of college football going on. West Virginia up 7-3 right now on Pittsburgh. So make sure you watch that game. Much more. I got a big 65-inch TV coming in the mail tomorrow that I'm looking forward to seeing. But again, thank you so much, everybody, for getting in. Catch me on Twitter at The Morgan T Show. And as always, Tiger fans, we'll see you at the top of the hill.